Having trouble with your garage door? Problem solved. Call Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. We're your go-to team for garage door repair, new garage doors, openers, and more. We offer same-day service. We're always ready when you need us. Best of all, you can book your appointment online or talk to a live operator 24/7. No machines, no waiting. So whether it's a broken spring or a brand new garage door, trust the local experts at Direct Service Garage Doors. Call us today or visit directserviceoverhead.com.
I don't even. Oh man. Welcome everybody. Goodness. Welcome to the Tusk Talk with Ty postgame show. Yeah, make sure you like, share, hit the subscribe button. I mean, what else can you do? You could either laugh, you could cry. I don't know. That was what a disaster. What a disaster of a second half. Oh my gosh. This is somehow uglier than Chad Morris. This has somehow gotten uglier than when Chad Morris was here. At least that game. Chad Morris was an ugly era of Arkansas football. Tonight was a new low for Razorback football. They're going to run Bobby Petrino out of town. They're going to run him out of town at this point. Yeah, 0.0 chance that Bobby Petrino is going to retain the job. I mean, he was already eliminated anyways. What a debacle the second half was. And again, this is what they do. They do it better than anybody in the country. They do it better than anybody in the country. They find new ways to lose. This team is allergic to winning, and it is unprecedented. This is unprecedented. I wish I could cover a halfway better team. But instead, we're stuck with this horse shit. I mean, it is unbelievable how bad this team is. It is unbelievable. What we just witnessed was insane. We broke a record, the most penalty yards in school history tonight. I've never seen anything like this before, ever. I can't think of. I want to know what the second most penalized game was. I'm gonna do it. Everyone else is doing it on Twitter, and they're right. This was one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen in my life. And this year, I think I've done a fairly decent job of leaving the officials out of the post games, out of the Monday Night Lights live shows. I haven't talked about officiating. Really haven't. Because Arkansas has done a mostly decent job of staying out of penalty trouble. And then tonight, they just found a new way to lose. And then on top of that, the officiating, it was a perfect storm. It was a perfect storm of mental errors, mental mistakes, and the officials making this game all about them. They completely, and listen, 10,000% this officiating staff needs to be investigated by the NCAA. There is no way. There's no way they don't have the. Look into their FanDuel account. What the hell did we just watch? There's just, that was insane. That was asinine. There's just no way. You can go all the way back to the Quincy Rhodes late hit, quote unquote, as he's hitting Shapen, as he's letting go of the ball. Taylon Green was earlier in the game, earlier in the fourth quarter, I think it was when he was sliding, he was hit. There was no one looked into that. Maybe it was the third quarter. No one was looking into that. There was no pause. The announcers weren't saying anything, because how unbiased they are. God, did you listen to that broadcast tonight? Oh, Mississippi State, yeah, they were so great. Get the hell out of here. They were assisted like. I mean, look, and I know there's going to be some Mississippi State fan come through and, blah, 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 the officiating, you guys just, blah, blah. Arkansas has not had an issue this year with this amount of mistakes and this many penalties. Not even close. Not even close. At home, in front of their home crowd, like half of those penalties need to be looked at deeply by the NCAA. They need to investigate this officiating staff. That was insane. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. I've never seen anything like that. And I'm not one to ever do that. I've never said the NCAA needs to invest. I've never gone that far. Have I looked into officiating and said, tonight was not a good game. They made it about themselves, blah, 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 blah. But, whatever happened at the end. It is what it is. That was insane what we witnessed tonight. Arkansas, yes, it is fair to say they made their own fair amount of mental mistakes. Green taking sacks. You could talk about some of the stuff that was happening when Petrino got penalized and he had a player run out onto the field. Definitely some moments there where coaching needed to step up and they didn't. There was a failure on this coaching staff to rein in their players and to keep this thing, to keep it from – you beat yourselves when you – how many penalties coming out of that third quarter when you – again, I think it was after Mississippi State. There was a solid 3 minutes there where Arkansas was just getting yellow flagged to death, and it's like most of those seem warranted. Those were just mental errors and the staff just not doing their best to rein in their players. But everything after that was just so red flag on this officiating crew. It's insane. Ty, I need you to get these officials fired. At the very least, if you watched this game, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong that wasn't mightily suspicious how that thing ended up being officiated throughout the rest of the fourth quarter. Very odd. Fishman, I can't read that sort of language, but I do appreciate the super chat. The Quincy Rhodes call was the worst thing I've ever seen, as crooked as I've ever seen. It was unbelievable, Fish. And then you get hit with targeting. Was that Larry Worth that got hit on targeting? Tailing Green, this is probably as good as you can put it right here. Dustino, hey, man, I appreciate you. Make sure you like, share, retweet the show. I'd greatly appreciate it. Tailing is a good quarterback until the game is on the line. I can't argue with that, Dustino. Dustin, I really can't. It's a combination of so many things, along with just how embarrassing that performance was as far as the mental errors. There were certainly some things that Arkansas was doing as a team that were just stupid. Some of the flags absolutely on them. By the way, I did a live show today while the game was on with Razorback Recon with Sarge. Shout out to him. That was a lot of fun. I like doing those from time to time. Again, that's Razorback Recon with Sarge. Now he owes me a super chat. He said he would. He owes me a super I'm just kidding. I guys, you'll see me. I bounce around a lot of these Razorback shows and podcasts. Hey, Ty, that was the same reffing crew as the Auburn versus Georgia game. Are you serious? Kyle wrote, are you serious? Oh, my God. I mean, even if it wasn't, it was just insane. Bumbles bounce. Long time no see, man. New conference, new athletic department, new AD, new football coach. He wants out of the SEC. Florida, Fishman, Florida 2.0. Florida 2009 2.0. You remember that that penalty late in the game that cost Arkansas. They called it on a defensive lineman for hitting an offensive player, for making contact with an offensive player. Only thing worse than the refs were Bobby's third down play calling. Don't ever want to hear him as a potential head coach again. Clean house. I think you're right. Hog's better. Again, everybody, make sure you like, share, hit the subscribe button. Now, I'm not putting it on Bobby, but there were certainly some strange calls tonight. And, not that many, but certainly enough that had you turn your head a little bit. Mark Curls and his crew got suspended over that one. Yeah. He couldn't coach another Razorback game. You remember that? Was that Curls that they couldn't coach another Razorback game? Was that the official that got hit with that? Listen, we can't make it all about the officiating. As atrocious as it was, Arkansas defense, they actually stood up today. They actually did play, for the most part, especially in that first half, a decent game. They only gave up 388 yards. Once again, how many times have they done this? Arkansas outgains the opponent in a loss. They've done this like every loss, I think, except 2. Arkansas ended up with 433 total yards. But the key number here, which is, someone said 17 penalties in chat. No, ESPN says 18 penalties for 193 yards. 18 penalties for nearly 2 lengths of 2 different football fields. I've never seen that before. That has to be a record, at least in the SEC. Certainly since the expansion, or go back to 2012 and A&M and Mizzou joined. That has to be a record. Since Arkansas joined this league, that 4 penalties for 30 yards on Mississippi State. You're going to tell me that this officiating crew doesn't need to be investigated? 4, 8, 12, 16, 4-1. This is insane to me. And by the way, someone said, I heard people talking about, Arkansas, if they can win the turnover battle. They won the turnover battle. But then they lost the penalty war. And to be fair, again, I'll grant you that Arkansas played some stupid football. Some stupid flags. Now, the Quincy Rhodes, was it Rhodes or I think it was Rhodes, when he tackled the running back, and then he secured the tackle by slamming the guy to the ground. Now, on that stream that I was on, I didn't hear a whistle. I don't know what you expect a defender to do mid-tackle, and you're trying to bring the guy down, and you haven't heard a whistle. Now, it's entirely possible there was a whistle, and I didn't hear it. The targeting call on Larry Worth, I didn't see helmet to helmet. And again, I'll take another look at it. Maybe I'm wrong. It looked like helmet to shoulder pad, and it looked like at first glance he hit the helmet. I'll take another look at it. It didn't look that way to me. I think that will need. I guarantee you, Petrino's going to send in what Sam Pittman used to say. He'd send in the tape, right? Guarantee you, Petrino's going to be sending off some tape. I kind of wonder if Petrino doesn't just go the hell off on the officiating, on the officials tonight. If there was ever a reason, to do so, tonight would be it. The refs made this game about them, and it took over everything. I mean, Arkansas couldn't squeeze out a fart without getting a flag. And I've seen worse chew-outs by coaches on officials and not get a penalty, by the way. Arkansas had to kick off from their own 10-yard line because of all those penalties. So again, some of that was just you need to rein it in, right? And that was one of those moments. The officials were trying to simmer the game down in that moment. They were trying to – so Petrino really didn't help matters there. However, you can't blame him. That was sickening. And to think that they had almost 433 total yards of offense with nearly 200 yards in penalties is just mind-blowing. Yeah, you win this game. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. And if you want to say you put this on the refs, I think that's half true. Again, those moments where you were getting flag after flag after flag, and you gave them, the 40-yard line to start off because you kicked at your 10-yard line, your own 10. It's a mixed bag. Like, you didn't help yourself, but yeah, the officials did win this game. No doubt in my mind. And again, but it still comes back to Arkansas. Like, if we're going to give them credit for also making stupid mistakes, And when the officials are trying to calm the game down, and they were getting choppy. You had a Mississippi State player get his helmet thrown off or pushed off by one of the Razorback defenders. It was getting choppy. It was getting chippy. It was getting chippy. And the refs now are on flag alert. They're going to flag the hell out of the game. You ought to know that. That's how this thing is done. So, yeah, you did still cost yourself while the officials also cost you the game. Appreciate everyone for being here. We got a lot of chat here, a lot of super chats. I can't believe what I watched. Christopher Thomas, $5 super chat. I appreciate that, man. All we do is lose close games and get other coaches raises. Calvin Meredith, you might be new here. I'm not sure. Make sure you hit the like button, share, and sharing is caring. Share the content and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you know as soon as I go live. How is it pass interference when you need a rocket up? I see what you're saying. Rocket up your ass to catch the ball. Yeah, that throw out of the back of the end zone that was not catchable, that was called a flag. I don't remember who that was on. Was that Davila they called that on? There were so many flags. And they even picked one up on a throw that was not catchable. Yeah, I agree with that, Colin. You're not wrong. I thought targeting was only against defenseless. Fish, nobody knows. Nobody knows anymore. Nobody knows what that even is. What's targeting? What is it? Arkansas lost, but refs had a large part of it. That's it, little joker. That's it. Worst officiated game you've ever seen in your life is the poll. 72% of you say yes. By the way, the options are yes, yes, absolutely. So, yeah, there's no doubting here. American Iron 95 says if they called some of those calls they did on Arkansas, why didn't they call the flag on the last play of the last drive before the game ended? Yeah, the Taylor Green hit. Brett Robinson says, please, Cal, not on you. Please let your Razorback team be what it looks like it is after this. Razorback Nation. Well, hold on. Got to scroll up. Razorback Nation, a Final Four. Razorback Nation needs a Final Four in the worst way. I think they need a championship in the worst way is what they need. But I don't disagree. Hog Dog with a $5 super chat. Is there a referee transfer portal? We need real refs. These dudes were hired from Cartoon World. Says Hog Dog with the $5 super chat. I do appreciate that. Appreciate the super chat. It's just so depressing, man. It's crazy because it felt like there for a minute. Arkansas blows a 14-point lead, but it feels like there for a minute they might actually walk away with this game. And I don't even know what to make of that second half outside of just officiating and Arkansas finding new ways to lose. It was the best of both worlds tonight is what it was. William Cody Phillips says, I knew we would find a way to lose. Is there any way season could be forfeited? Well, no, you can't. You don't want to forfeit, but it'd probably do. I guarantee you one thing. If they ended the season, if they just said we're done, I don't know. I feel like there'd be a lot less alcohol consumption and less concern about doctor's visits because of heartache. The blood pressure medicine, wouldn't be a thriving economy like it is without the Razorbacks, right? I don't feel bad for the players. They are getting paid to not do a damn thing, says Josh Huffman. Listen, Josh, I'm going to say this, man. I thought tonight, and you can disagree, I don't know. I thought tonight they did show that they want to win this game. They were passionate tonight. They just didn't play smart. They were passionate but not smart. Too many mental errors. And again, I've just sit here and ragged on the officials for 10, 15 minutes. I'm also going to tell you that the players cared. I love that they cared tonight. I love it. But they didn't care smart. A lot of mental errors. A lot of mistakes. I think they cared tonight. I I disagree that they didn't do a damn thing. I disagree with that. They did plenty. They just didn't use their heads. And it just it's really unfortunate. Eli Moore is quoting me here. They didn't play smart, but wants to blame the officials. Well, Eli, maybe in Starkville, and I'm assuming you're a Mississippi State fan. I don't know, or you're just a low IQ non-ball knower. I don't know, but two things can be true at once, my friend. Hi, reality check there for you, buddy. Never ever thought this team would go 2-10. Not ever again, but here we are. Here we are. 2-10, staring right down the barrel of 2-10. And, we called it weeks ago, even when Pittman was still the head coach. You're looking down the barrel of 2-10. And that's, this is it. I don't know. Texas, is LSU your next shot? They got an interim head coach. By the way, how'd you like that a backup quarterback came in and put points once again on this Razorback defense? As improved as they played, it's still a Razorback defense, guys. Prisha Armstrong, how you doing? How you doing, Miss Armstrong? It is so sad when they are winning in the third, but you just know it's going to end in a loss. Never get excited. She says, you are dead on, Miss Armstrong. It's very nice to see you. Thank you for being in here. Again, everyone, make sure you like, share, hit the subscribe button. I do appreciate you. And somehow, even though the season is over, and it's been over, let's be real, it's been over for a while, this one still hits you right in the gut, doesn't it? It may not hurt as much as it normally does because you expected it, when you watch those videos of those guys, those monks, they're all like, they're doing this, and the guy's just kicking them in the balls over and over. Like, that's Arkansas football this year. That's what it is. You're just getting kicked in the balls over and over and over. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. You know it's coming. Just embrace it. It still hurts. You just can't show it. Very unfortunate. Didn't lose it fair and square, says Patrick Smith. I don't know that I could put it any better. I really don't. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't feel like you lost fair and square. It really doesn't. Don't get me wrong. These are two bad football teams. These are not two good football teams. These are not two good football teams. Okay. Yeah. Winning this, you're still not going bowling. I mean, again, after tonight, what other game are you really going to win? I don't know. You'd maybe feel better if LSU was in Fayetteville or Little Rock, maybe coming off a bye week, but, Mr. Kick says, which one is worse, today or Auburn 2020? I would say today, because at least in 2020, you had hope that this thing was turning around because you were winning conference games, even though you were playing a conference-only schedule. But, yeah, you were robbed of that one too. Again, this is nothing new to Razorback fans. It's nothing new to them. Some non-Razorback fans going to scroll down the stat page and look at those penalties and look at how Arkansas lost that game and go, man, I wonder if that's happened to them before. That's just ugly. Now the 18 penalties for 193 yards has not ever happened before, but just the way they lost, the knowing that it's coming part, right? Who are they going to get, Ty? I don't know. Arky56 is in chat. What's up, Pops? Maybe stick around for another minute or two. Hog Blitz. I have said for 2 years that it is the culture. We must purge the locker room this offseason to change culture. Hog Blitz, have you looked at how many players have hit the portal the last 3 years out of Fayetteville? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. They've had roster resets quite a bit. When you say it's culture, I don't. What does that even mean? You just lose. Is that it? You're just a losing culture, I guess. But when you win, when you actually do win a game, what does that make it? I don't know. Hey, Ty, in the words of Elaine Bennis, Yeah, I'm speechless. I am beyond speech. That's a pretty good plug right there for Seinfeld. Love me some Seinfeld. This was the let go of the rope game, says John Hawes. You're you may not be wrong, John. It's just incredible. Ty, along with the new coach, the roster must be purged. It's the culture. Said it for over 2 years. Yeah, no, we know, buddy. We know, Blitz. We got it. Yeah, the real season, the thing that matters the most right now to Hog fans, Monday night. You start the basketball season, baby. That's what it's all about. Monday night, it's here's where we are. Right? It's Monday night. It's hoops, baby. It's Razorback basketball. Now listen, they're not going to win all their non-con games, okay? And if they do, I'm not betting anything, but they're going to win at minimum half of those games. They're going to have some letdown games, I'm sure, because you do still have some newness to that roster. But I'm just so excited for basketball to be back. I'm so ready to put this stupid-ass season behind us. It's just, what a disaster. And you know where this started? It started when you decided to keep Pittman around for another year. That's when this started. At the end of the day, I'm sorry, but if you were going to fire him just a few games into the year, why the hell why would you start? Look at where you're at. And who knows who they could have gotten if you rewind the clock back to December and you decide, look, we're glad you beat Texas Tech. That's great. Sayonara, we're moving forward. We've got to fix this. That's when this started. When you decided to, and I get it. At the time, it looked obvious, right? You just beat Texas Tech, who they were all right last year. But that's when this all started. When you decided to keep Sam, and that's why we're in the situation that we're in. The difference is the commitment to finding new ways to lose. You said that right. That is unique to Arkansas. I've never seen such creativity in collapsing a football program. It's almost art at this point, right? King Command, it's art. I mean, it really is to everyone that's not a Razorback fan. Hate to see it. They did fight hard, Smock. I agree. Someone earlier said they didn't. I just disagree. I think they did fight. But in the end, mental errors and officiating, the officials just, man, killed any momentum Arkansas was able to get. Smock says, I really want to see KJ Jackson moving forward, regardless of the refs screwing us in this game. Talon can't lead you on a game-winning drive. He's not clutch, Smock says. I want to know where the person is that told me I was wrong about that. Where are you at? Where have you been? You've disappeared. And it's funny how this always happens. When I call something out like this and I say something is, I don't know, grossly accurate as you know what, Green just isn't clutch. I don't expect him to win games. He can be fantastic until the fourth quarter when you need him to show up the most. What is his legacy when he leaves Arkansas? As much of an athletic freak as he is, what is Talon Green's legacy? It's going to be that this guy, guess what, doesn't have it to win in these clutch moments. Now, again, I'm not putting all this on him, but we've seen this time and time again, and it's not all on him. And he did play a pretty solid game until the end. We could talk about missing some reads and all that. That's fine. Should have thrown a pick. He lucked out. But he just, when you need him to step up, and you could probably go as far as saying Bobby Petrino's offense has not been clutch. You can go as far as saying it's not just on Green, it's everyone. Offensive line giving up sacks, Talon Green making misreads, panicking, going backwards 15 yards, 20 yards, taking the sack. instead of just throwing the ball, of course, in that last moment there, you couldn't, but I mean, he ended up doing it anyways, but he just doesn't have it. And it's funny to me that when I say he just doesn't have the clutch gene, we've seen it over and over and over again. There's always someone in the post chat. Rarely are they here live. It's always after the live show, which is fine. That's fine. I get it. Not everyone. There's 5,000 post-game shows on right now about Arkansas. I get it. And I appreciate those of you that are here and make the effort to be here every post-game, because this is the best post-game in Arkansas, baby, period. But where'd you go? Where are you? Will I ever see you again? It's funny how that happens. Damn, he hit the nail on the head. I'm going to vanish because my comment now is wrong. A great quarterback would have made Booby's offense look way better. TG isn't him. TG has moved the ball, and there's this offense doesn't have the numbers that it had for like 8 weeks or 7-8 weeks without Taylon Green. Make no mistake about it. Taylon Green is why the offense was ranked in so many categories as it has been the last 2 years. Last year, you finished in 8th in the country in total offense. You were like 40th in scoring. That's flipped a little, not flipped, but it's changed a little bit. You are actually scoring. And Taylon Green was a big part of that, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. But when you need him to step up, he vanishes. When you need Taylon Green to make the big plays, he vanishes in those final minutes. Wild West 70 says with a $5 super chat, BP's offense requires a quarterback who can make quick reads. Taylon is not that quarterback. He misses reads, and there's no doubt that is something that has cost this offense. But then sometimes he does. Sometimes those running back runs that go for 15, 20, 30 yards, they're because Green made the right read and decided to hand the ball off to the running back. We got to give credit where credit's due. And he can dice up some defenses too with his arm. He is capable. But when you take him out as a runner, when you limit his ability to run the ball and you make him become one-dimensional, he's not going to beat you, and the odds are you're not going to win that game. Taylon Green has got to he's got to run, and he wasn't very good tonight. 17 carries for 46 yards. That's less than 3 yards a carry. He did have an 18-yarder from the line of scrimmage. By the way, Mike Washington continues to look special. 6 yards a carry. His average on the season, I think, is 6 yards, right? Or maybe it was a little higher. Washington looks like an NFL back. He just does. I don't know if he gets drafted or not. I'm not there yet with him. We haven't really seen him completely take a game over yet, but we got some more super chats. Wow, appreciate you guys coming through. Again, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Ty, all the anger should be focused us on Hunter. I don't blame Pittman or Bobby. Blitz. Oh my God, dude! Like, listen. Was Hunter Yurachek the head coach tonight? Was Hunter Yurachek getting the flag on the sidelines? Listen, I agree with you, Hunter's. I'm not defending Hunter at all. I'm not, but you do this in Discord and live chat, and it's just so old, dude. I get it. You hate Hunter. When your finger pokes through the toilet paper, you blame Hunter. I get it, man. I get it. But tonight, Hunter Yurachek didn't get those flags. Yes, I stated that a little while ago. Keeping Sam just to fire him a few games into the year is where things went wrong. I've already called him out. But bro, please stop. I get it, man. I get it. You hate Hunter. I'm not a fan of his. I've been very critical of him. Don't tell me where to put the anger. I know where to put the anger. I know where to put the frustration. I know Hunter deserves a lot of criticism, as I have done over the months. Hell, years. But tonight, Hog Blitz, tonight, who was getting all those flags tonight? Now, again, the officials, God. Oh, dude, it just gets so old. I mean, it's just like you copy and paste this shit. I don't care, dude. Hog Blitz, I don't care. I know you don't like him. I get it, dude. Discord gets it. Live chat gets it. Jason Suffin, sorry, long night. $5 super chat. The problem is apathy. I do not care. I want to, but I called 38 to 35 minutes to go. Yeah. I think everyone. I think the beginning of that fourth quarter, we just felt it. Right? You could have a big lead, and we know what's coming. I say big lead, a 14-point lead. Razorback, there he is. Razorback Recon, what's going on, man? Was a great pleasure to have you on the show today. Worst called game ever. There he is. You guys go check him out. They're going to I guess they're going to stream the game on Monday, too. Kyle wrote, says, Hunter is to blame for this mess, but this game is on more than him for sure. Yeah. He must have been saying a lot. I don't know who. Curtis, who you talking about? Ty is a Hunter sympathizer. There it is. I've been caught. I'm a Hunter Yurchek sympathizer. I'm going to spread the Hunter Yurchek propaganda. Hey, guys, it just gets old. I mean, it just gets old. When the same person says the same damn thing all the time. Like, bro, I'm over it. Tonight is about the stupid decision-making, awful penalties, bonehead mistakes by our guys, and the officials taking this game over. That's what tonight was about. And it was disgusting. You can place all the hate you want on Hunter, and, bro, I'm not going to defend Hunter. But tonight was about the mistakes on the field. Steven says, I forgot my wife's birthday. Pretty sure Hunter Yurchek is to blame. Oh, I'll never make that mistake, man. I've been married. We'll be married 20 years in May. We've been married 20 years in May. And she's left it up to me to figure out what we're going to do for our 20-year anniversary. And I had a good idea, but I don't know. Now I'm second guessing. Bo Branscombe says that Larry Worth's ejection should be overturned. That was ridiculous. I also hate that penalty kicks you out of the next half of the following game. That is the stupidest damn thing I've ever heard. If you're going to get hit, if you're going to do that again, I could understand. Like, okay, you did it a second time. Now you're suspended the first time. One time and you're out. That's it. You can't handle the truth. Says, come on, basketball. Worst officiated game I've ever seen. I don't give a damn what any Mississippi State fan says, or I don't care. That was the worst officiated game I've ever seen. Awful. Blake Shapen, who got knocked out of the game for a little bit, did end up going 16 to 28 for 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick off a. It was not a pick like a corner jumped a route or something. It was a bobbled pass. It looked like. And then Kamario Taylor, 2 of 5, 40 yards. He did not look good. Outside of one throw to the end zone, he did not look good as a thrower. He's definitely got some development in that department. But he did go 6 carries for 55 yards because, of course, he did. He's a backup quarterback. So he had 2 touchdowns. He looked good overall. I mean, Mississippi State ought to be excited about that. Arkansas did, for the most part, really slow down Mississippi State's ability to run. 38 carries for 106 yards. That's under 3 yards a carry. Their longest run from the line of scrimmage was 20 yards. That was the Kamario Taylor run. 2 rushing touchdowns. How about Anthony Evans? Was he not committed to Arkansas for I seem to remember him being committed to Arkansas. 5 catches, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a hell of a game. Brennan Thompson, 6 catches, 107 yards. And then Devon Booth had a catch for 8 yards for a touchdown. Mississippi State fumbled the ball twice and both times recovered because, of course, they did. And they ended up with 3 sacks in this game, but just 4 TFLs. The offensive line was down, 16 guys? I think they ended up without 3 starters on the offensive line. I mean, for the most part, I thought they did okay. I don't know what the PFF sheets are going to look like tomorrow. Arkansas, Taylon Green goes 19 to 31. Not great. 194 yards, 1 touchdown. Mike Washington, 19 carries, 116 yards. That's 6 yards a carry, 6.1 to be exact. with a rushing touchdown. Taylor Green, 17 for 46, 1 touchdown. And then Raylan Sharp had a carry for 41 yards. And then Russell, 8 carries tonight, 31 yards, 3.9 yards a carry, but he did have a touchdown. Rohan Jones had a catch or a rush for 5 yards. Raylan Sharp tonight, 5 catches, 84 yards. Rohan Jones would have the only receiving touchdown. Pretty sure he was only targeted once tonight. I could be wrong. 1 catch for 3 yards. Arkansas, to be fair, they did fumble the ball twice. They didn't lose either of them, though. I guess we got to be fair about it. Bradley Shaw, who at times looked really solid tonight. He had a couple TFLs. How about Quincy Rhodes? A sack and 4.5 TFLs. Pretty sure he ended up with like 6 hurries tonight, too. I mean, he just was eaten. Quincy Rhodes is going to be right back in that conversation as a first-round draft pick. And this year feels like such a waste for guys like Washington, Rohan Jones, hell, Platt, even though he's not really been as productive this year, but he's got tons of potential. But again, Rhodes, it just feels like such a wasted year, right? Arkansas does get a couple of sacks. They have 10 TFLs according to ESPN. Now that number will come down because it usually comes down, so we'll see where that ends up. Arkansas did have a ton of passes defended tonight. Caleb Wooden had 3 passes defended. That's a career high for him. And he also had 4 tackles, which was like 3rd on the team for total tackles. We still got 3 more games. Ty, get ready, says Mr. Kicks. Appreciate all the super chats tonight. You guys are awesome. I really do appreciate it. I mean, this is probably – Tuffy says, listen, guys, we almost won and we spotted them 200 yards. I mean, Tuffy, I don't disagree, but that is moral victory. Moral victory university is what Arkansas is. And right there's a good way of looking at it. That's a glass half full kind of take out of Tuffy. Okay? She or he, I don't know. That sounds like a chick name. I'm not sure. That's a glasses half full kind of comment. And you know what? Hey, I applaud you, Tuffy. We're super negative, and you're in here going, you know what, though? Hold on. Yeah. Laughter is the best medicine. I don't usually like Prue. I don't usually like talking about other creators like this, but Prue says our friend T Biddy about to fire up another We Are All Razorback segment. I hear what you're saying. I don't normally. I like Trey. Yeah, he'll be live here in about unless he went live early. He usually doesn't go live. I'm usually off air for about 15 minutes before he goes live, so I'll be curious to see what he says about this tonight. WDT says Bobby for head coach. Look at what he's done with this team. I mean, I get it. I see what you're doing. Oh, man. What was the big news that John Neighbors was talking about if we lose this or something? I have no idea, Josh. I have no clue, man. James Franklin, come on down. Says Hog better. Hey, look at that. You're number 3 in the rank there. Ty, who would you want for head coach? I've been asked this a jillion times. Guys, I don't have an answer anymore. I can name off, Kirby Smart, right? Like, of course you're not going to get a Kirby Smart. Who knows who they get? That is the realistic question in here. Like, how attractive is this job really? Really, who are you going to get, right? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. Ty, he's biting you? Oh, he's baiting me. Yeah. No, I know he is. Like I said, I knew what he was doing. The question may be, who wants to be the head coach? D-back says Talen's legacy is that he's a whack quarterback at an SEC score. It could be, yeah. It could be. Listen, people have told me that he is still that Boise State quarterback. And I see why anybody would come to that conclusion. I get it. Because of his inability to lose or his inability to win these tight games. He appears to shit his pants in the final minutes of games when we need him the most. However, Taylen Green never led the country in any stat at Boise State. He is a much better quarterback just in terms of his ability to play the game than he ever was at Boise State. He was never this close. I think there has been some development there. He does still struggle on reads. I get that. We can all poke holes in everything that anybody does, right? I don't think he's a trash quarterback. I think he's a trash when we need him the most quarterback. That's what he is. He's trash when we need him the most. He's bad. He's not good. Like it's to the point now where I wonder in the final minutes, and this sounds, now the more I think about it, it sounds even worse. Yeah, let's put a redshirt freshman out there. But he is so bad in these final minutes. We're like, yeah, man, you got us there. You got us to the finish line. We need someone else to carry us over. And do you go to a redshirt freshman in KJ Jackson? Well, that seems like an even worse idea. But, like, do you just take the game completely out of his hands? But in that moment, even though you got 3 timeouts, you had how many seconds to work with? You had to throw the ball. You can't just hand it off and expect to even get in field goal range, right? So, like, when a defense forces the situation where you need Green to step up and make big plays, you're going to lose that game. That's who he is. That's the version of him that's true. He's a better quarterback than he ever was at Boise State, fellas. I mean, he led the country for like 8 consecutive weeks in total offense, and that's no matter the player or position, quarterback, running back, receiver. And, of course, quarterbacks are always expected to be high on that list. I mean, he was number 1 for like 8 or 9 weeks. He definitely got better, but he also is the same quarterback who just shits his pants when the game is on the line and you need him to step up. 2 things can be true at once, like we pointed out earlier to another silly fan. I would rather have a pure pocket passer than that. This is Jeremy Robertson. What? I'm not sure what you mean, Jeremy. I mean, you have who you have. You're not. KJ Jackson, like, if we're going to get into that, put in KJ, put in Jackson. If we're going to start that, I think the thinking is that Green still gives us the best chance through 75% of the game to put you in position to win said game. However, he will not win you that game. He just won't. And it sucks because I don't know that I see that changing. I don't know. If it's a final minute drive, if you need him in 1 minute with 3 freaking timeouts left, I have 0. I knew when they took over in the fourth quarter, when Green was out on the field with 3 timeouts, this had to be the game-winning drive. I knew right then and there. I already got my live going. I knew what was going to happen. He's too predictable. Like, this team is predictable. They don't know how to win games. And he's a part of that. He's a big part of that. Hunter Yurchek ran after the refs after the game. God, I want that to be true so hard. At least show us that you care, Hunter. It was man. And I know someone's going to come through and, well, you can't put this on Bobby. You can't put this on Green. You can't put this. No, you're right. You can put it on everybody. You can't put this on officials. Watch me. Watch me. I will absolutely put a big chunk of this on the officiating. It was terrible. If we had a pocket passer with this O-line, imagine the horror. Well, I mean, they've, for the most part, they have improved. They are better at pass blocking, but, man, they still need work. But I do think the job that they've done with that offensive line, it was a better offensive line this year. Tusky6693 says Green gives us the best chance with his offensive production. Yes, he is not clutch and crumbles all the time, but he literally will finish with almost 4,000 yards this year. Yeah. Is he still on par to do that? I don't think he will. Because of the defenses you're about to play. And today he didn't really stack up a ton of yards either. He came into this game with almost 2,200 yards of offense. So he will not get to 4,000 yards, I don't think. I'm sorry. That's passing. My bad. 28, almost 2,800 yards, I think, total offense. And so he's going to have to end up with 1,000+ yards, and that's not going to happen. I don't think it does. I could be wrong. I don't think he hits the 4,000-yard mark. He could. But boy, if he does, a round of applause if he can hit 4,000 total yards of offense. He's now up to 19 passing touchdowns, and he'll be at 640 yards of offense or rushing offense with 6 rushing touchdowns. That's pretty impressive, man. Again, you don't get to those numbers by being a trash quarterback. You get to being a trash clutch quarterback or lack thereof, or not having the lack of the clutch gene when you fold the way he does in the bottom of these games. And again, it's not always on him. I agree with that. But a lot of times it is. In my 61 years, I ain't ever seen a game called a game called a blank and sorry as this in here. It was so bad, Arkansas Festus. It was so bad. It really was. Ty, am I crazy for thinking that Wilson has made improvements on D? You're not wrong, Steven. They have. I mean, look, I'm pretty sure they held Mississippi State below their average. I could be wrong about that, but total offensive production, we know that a lot of their points were how they were gifted. We know how they got a lot of their points and even some of their yards, but a lot of their production came in large part to this shitty officiating. We did see the defense step up tonight, especially in that first half. I mean, they really were just plugging all the gaps, playing well out in the flats. They did give up a 12-play, 80-yard 12-play drive. Arkansas responded. I mean, their first 2 drives, they punted. And then the Arkansas defense really settled in. I think they forced, 1, 2, 3. They forced 3 more punts by the end of that first half. They really kept Arkansas going, and the offense finally kind of started to figure things out a little bit. The 4-play, 75-yard drive, that was just shitty. I mean, shouldn't have happened. But Arkansas still did a pretty decent job of keeping this. And again, until the officials really just took this game over. I don't know what more the defense could have done. The offense didn't do them a lot of favors either. Special teams. How many penalties did special teams get hit with tonight? 2? I think it was 2 or 3. I mean, on par, right? Yeah, that 10-play, 69-yard, the 69-yard drive that went for 2 minutes, that really, but what'd the offense do? A couple punts, right? I mean, Mississippi State on their last 2 possessions, other than the final possession when they kneeled for -5 to end the game, they'd scored 10 let's see, was it 10? No. Hold on. 17 points in their last 3 real drives. They were able to respond. And Arkansas just couldn't, their defense by then. And you look at all the injuries on both sides of the line of scrimmage, but you look at how banged up Mississippi State Arkansas actually was the healthiest they've been on the defensive line this year outside of like David Oakey. We saw Charlie Collins go down, which I really hated for him. I hope we get some good news on him by Petrino on Monday. But, the defense tried to make this work, right? Like they are better than where they were, but they're still giving up drives. They're still kind of having a hard time just getting off the field. There's still a lot of issues, but that's a talent problem. They don't have talent. Outside of like Quincy Rhodes, maybe Julian Neal, Again, we've seen a couple other guys kind of come through the last couple of weeks, but overall, they just don't have a lot of talent. And you're going to see a mass exodus of the guys that you do have that you consider talented, right? You're going to see a mass exodus. Yeah, Bobby got a flag. He did. The Arkansas Almosters footballs is unbiased Brim. What's up, Brim? Again, I hope you guys share the content on Twitter. I see the retweets. I appreciate all the super chats. Oh, man. Please consider signing up for Tusk Talk with Ty Patreon. That's, man, we're keeping up with all the coaching stuff. I mean, we are. We're doing a great job. Patreon supporters in there are doing a great job. Shout out to Courtney Mims. She's also sharing. She has shared some really good information with us in there. So consider signing up for Tusk Talk with Ty Patreon. You get access to all that. Yeah, we're trying our best at tracking plays and keeping up with it all. Again, I do appreciate everyone. You guys were you were great tonight. Appreciate you coming through. The poll, I guess we're going to have to put an end to the poll here. But, yeah, no, you guys all agreed that this was the worst officiated game you've ever seen. Tonka Todd says, Ty, I wanted to say thank you for guesting on Sarge's show. Yeah, I gave him a shout-out earlier. Showing support to a disabled vet Razorback, content creator, show, why you're an amazing person and a show host. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate that, Todd. I appreciate that. Yeah, and shout out to those guys. I always have fun hopping on some of these other shows. I don't have much, I do. Listen, man, we all started somewhere, right? I've been doing this for a while, and I had help along the way. Well, not really, because there weren't really other Razorback creators when I started doing this, but I got help from a guy by the name of Big Fry, who makes a lot of, it's gaming content, video game content, but he and I, we go back a decade, and he helped me along the way. So, you pay it forward, man. Help out some other channels. I have no problem with that. JW says, kind of buzzed, can't type. I'm all hopped up on apathy right now. I'm just excited that basketball's here to save the day, right? Hopefully. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. Based out of Central Arkansas. Same-day services, emergency service 24/7, 365 days a year, free estimates, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. 501-244-3667. Again, that's Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Now, I will be taking on some more sponsors. Patreon's doing great. It could be better, but it's doing great. And I appreciate everyone who's there, everyone who's upgraded their account, their tiers on Tusk Talk with Ty Patreon, but we're gonna have to go after some more sponsors. So if you know anybody that owns a local business, maybe you own a local business, you want to come be a part of the Tusk Talk with Ty family. Listen, man, we're coming up on 2 million total views. This thing has been growing and it just keeps growing, and we reach a local audience. So please get the word out. If you know somebody, they own a business, or maybe you just happen to I don't know, maybe you are a business owner. If you want to consider being, sponsoring this page, hit me up, man. You can email me, you can DM me. There's all sorts of different ways. So, but again, I do appreciate the Patreon supporters. You're helping to keep the lights on in this place. But if inflation and all this stuff is catching up to your boy. These bills to keep this thing going kind of piling up a little bit. So we need to, I'm going to have to go out and reach out to some more sponsors. Which I've already reached out to one, and gonna hope that that one follows through. But you never know. I worked in marketing for a while for Sam's Club. I know how this works. Sometimes you get told no, and that's fine. You guys know I'm a truly independent creator, small content creator. It's not always super easy, So if we could get some sponsors on here, and again, if you want to help out by joining Tusk Talk with Ty Patreon, that would be fantastic. There's other perks that come along with it, but I know a lot of people, the whole reason why we started Patreon, because there's some outsiders who don't understand this, they just wanted to support the channel. So they did that by joining Patreon. So shout out to all you fine, awesome individuals. By the way, also to my fellow nerds, people they've been hitting me up. Ty, how's Arc Raiders? Oh my God, you need to play Arc Raiders. Yes, it's like Tarkov. If you've heard of it, it is similar to Tarkov, but I think this is way better. It is so fun. I've been running solos, trying to do some material runs. It is so damn fun, man. So highly recommend Arc Raiders. It's on PC, PS5, Xbox, you name it. Maybe we can group up or something. All right, that is it for this show. Again, I appreciate everyone. We will. Why am I getting hit with the? Oh, you want a Tusk Talk cap? I thought you were calling me a liar about something, Hero. Yeah, I've got one left, and it's behind me, and that one's mine. I got to make more one of these days, and I'm trying to get some stickers made too, by the way, which will first go to Legendary status members if I can ever get all these things printed out. So, all right, that is it. Again, apathy is set in for all of us. I don't know. Like I said, 2-10. We've been watching it slowly unfold, going all the way back to Memphis, in my opinion. So, I don't know. Just be thankful basketball season is here. Cal, please, God, save us.
Make me feel